Maine towns and cities are looking for ways to ease their housing problems. State studies say more than 80,000 new homes and apartments are needed by 2030 to meet the need.
There are lots of ideas being tried out. The towns of Boothbay and Boothbay Harbor are the latest to tackle the housing crisis with a homegrown solution. 207's Don Kerrigan went there to find out about it. Hey, Don.
Hi, guys. This housing issue, as you know, is of great interest to me. We've done multiple stories on it. And of course, developers around the state have been building apartment complexes, many of them subsidized, to try to meet the need. In Boothbay and Boothbay Harbor, the towns have decided to do it themselves, even including donations to get enough residences for a very specific group of residents. With a crane and a community behind them, people in the Boothbay area are seeing a dream take shape. How's that feel?
Really, really exciting. I have come every day because I can't stay away.
This dream is housing for the workers who keep the peninsula moving. These towns are loved by tourists, but they are also year-round working communities. And whether it's schools or stores, whether it's Bigelow Research Laboratory, Washburn and Doughty Shipyard, even the Coastal Maine Botanical Garden, all depend on local workers. But too many of those workers aren't able to live locally.
People who work for the town, people who work for the school, people who work at the Coast Guard station.
Aaron Cooper says the towns did a study showing a huge number of workers have to commute to get here.
They identified 1,500 cars a day driving onto the peninsula and 1,500 cars driving off.
Cooper and Steve Malcolm say that has to change.
You can't have a vibrant town unless you have kids in school and trades who live here. And at this time, trades can't afford to live on the peninsula anymore.
Prices, they say, have gone out of sight, out of control. And that explains the crane. Malcolm and Cooper are leading the volunteer Boothbay Region Development Corporation. It is now building a 20-unit condominium project using modular construction, 5 buildings with 4 two-bedroom condos in each, designed as workforce housing, priced so those who do the local work can own a local home.
Just somewhere, between making $50,000 a year and making $100,000 a year.
Which, to an awful lot of people, sounds, they're okay.
Yeah.
They're making $100,000 a year.
Right.
It sounds like they don't have a worry.
But there's no supply. There's nothing to buy.
So you're creating that supply.
That's the reason why we're starting.
The project has been a long time coming. It took the towns and the planners and local taxpayers to fully understand the need.
For us, we are the oldest town in the oldest county in the oldest state. So, there's a need for keeping the workforce here, keeping us viable. And
doing that needed donations.
We were able to raise over $3 million from the local community. Now, some of these are folks that some are here, they don't live here year-round, and they are supporting a year-round community that they can come back to year after year after year. And it's their plumbers, their electricians, their Coast Guard.
The town of Boothbay voted $1.5 million for water and sewer lines. The county donated money. Federal COVID recovery dollars were also used. Banks gave construction loans.
Oh, it feels incredible, to actually see something that was a concept come into fruition.
And then bedrooms upstairs? And when it's done, the people who buy these condos will have to qualify based on income, and that will determine the price.
Listing prices range from $330,000 to $495,000, and those are to attract people at both the low and high end of the range.
And those are based on income?
Those are based on income.
Okay.
So there's an income cap. You can't make over certain amounts.
This is just the first step. The Development Corporation plans to also build a workforce apartment complex on this site when the condos are done. State Representative Holly Stover hopes other towns are watching.
I think it could be replicated. We're just very fortunate here that we had the right leaders who were willing to come to the table.
20 condos, of course, won't solve the workforce housing problems, but they believe it is a start.
We want to provide a start for them so that they can live here and put their kids into school, and then 5 years down the road, they accumulate a little bit of more income, and then they can move on to maybe a single-family home or thrive somewhere.
Then the workforce condos can get sold back to the corporation and then resold to new families. That's how housing used to work. A lot more is needed, they agree. But besides walls and roofs, this project is building hope.
The plan is to get the third of those 5 buildings in place this week, and they're hoping to have everything done, buildings finished, landscaping done, people moved in by Labor Day. Fascinating project to me for a variety of reasons. The towns say, we've got to do this. They had people donate millions of dollars to help with it, and the focus is so much on keeping the town a viable place.
Keeping the town vibrant.
Yep.
Interesting way to do it with the private donations.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see if that can be replicated in
Right,
communities
right.
that don't have
Some unique
the wealth
things there.
that there is on the Boothbay Peninsula.
Correct.
All right. Thanks, Don.